into the diva comp, you know you want to try and force the diva to go first. I say this countless times, people. Diva, if diva goes first, let's say diva's set up here. If she dies first, that means that she's sacrificing all this nice space behind her, if that makes sense, right? So if diva goes first and she leaves an opening for you, that's your opening to jump and hit where she leaves. That's all you have to look out for in the diva into monkey matchup. Also, things that you want to look out for. If the enemy team is running diva, if they're bunkered up with a brig in areas like this, you might want to open by jumping into areas of space instead of going directly into the bunker, because that is how they'll blow you up. With that being said, first jump, land here. You use bubble, they trade off no abilities. Oh, Widow dies. In terms of aggression, usually you would want people, or you would want to go back when you go one down. But with characters like Widowmaker, I always say that it's worth keeping up the aggression, because if Widowmaker joins the fight in the mid fight, it's actually way easier for her to get kills. Widowmaker doesn't get kills in the early fight unless someone is inting, unless someone is out of position. It's when the mid fight, when people are naturally out of position, people are backing up, people are having to rotate to other parts, where if a Widowmaker times the swing well, she can catch people out in rotation, and if she lands a shot, that's how she gets the kills consistently. So here, I want you to keeping up the aggression. I obviously don't want you to wait. It's fine. And you know that you don't want to take this fight with the diva directly, so you're waiting. But here, what are you actually doing? You're just kind of taking a whole bunch of spam. Are you trying to build nano? Is that the play right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So we were like down Widow, may as well just build nano, because I was low anyway, so I couldn't engage.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. So this is valid as long as you're able to do that, but you use bubble,
yeah,
which is bad. If you're looking to build that the nano charge up, you don't want to be using other abilities like nano bubble, I mean. If you want to build the nano, you don't want to be using other abilities like bubble, just because once you jump out, you won't be able to jump directly back in. You would have to wait for your bubble cooldown, and that kind of slows down the process. Right now, it's very, very valid to be building the ult charge up right now, just simply because in comparison, our ult charge is way better than theirs for the nano. It's actually double. So this is very good. You time the bubble perfectly, and you force the coach. What abilities do we want them to stack to get an advantage? What do we want them to stack on your engagement specifically?
Whip.
Sorry?
Probably coach and whip.
Coach and whip. Perfect, perfect. So that's what we want to try and look out for. A well-structured team is gonna look to coach first. Do you have any idea why they would look to coach first instead of whip shot first?
Because whip's better to use for just overall, and more damage if they're closer, I'm guessing.
To an extent, yeah. So what you've said isn't wrong, but let me phrase it in this way. If Brig isn't whip-shotting, she can hold shield. And what might Brig want to shield on our engagement? The Widow, but I'm also going for the Annonade, right? We want to engage with Annonades, because if we land the Annonade, it's a very consistent hit. Also, it's going to be so good in the next patch of things. But our Brig and the enemy Brig want to hold shield for as long as possible, just so they can block that initial nade that might be coming. And then, obviously, the Ashe could be positioned somewhat behind the Brig in coach range. Or, alternatively, our Brig can just not whip shot on the engagement. Our Ashe also doesn't need to whip shot. God, why am I stuttering today? Our Brig doesn't need to whip shot on the engagement, and our Ashe doesn't need to coach on the engagement. Obviously, if we are running Ashe, just for the example, because right now, if you land, you've used the bubble early to try and bait it. Now you've landed, it's a free whip shot down or a free coach down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So holding the abilities here, just knock them off. Oh, you adapted really, really well there, actually. Really, really well there. They use nade. What should that be your trigger to do?
Jump in.
They coach. Fair enough. They coach because they actually landed the correct ability order. You could potentially force point. Do you still have bubble? Yes. Yes. Why are you setting up for the next engagement?
Because I think my tracer's top right, and she wanted to go in for a pulse. So I was going to. I could be wrong here, but that's what I remembered being told.
Okay, cool. In terms of the better macro structure, they use the cooldowns in the right order. So now that we're booped down, why don't you just 2-stack on cart? 2-stack on cart, 2-stack on cart. They try spamming you out. Why don't you just bubble on cart?
Yeah.
Because then who's going to have to touch?
One of the supports.
Brig, in terms of the correct order to touch, it would probably be Brig, right?
Yeah.
Which would mean...
I bubble her off so the Ana can heal her, and it should be a free kill.
Well, if you use the bubble here, if the Brig drops... and you jump up, it is not only a free monkey engagement, but it's also a free pulse, right?
Yeah.
And so we can be trying to play it in a smarter way. Try and keep track of these enemy abilities, what actually knocks you down, and just adapt around that, if that makes sense. Because that play, if you got booped down, forced cart, bubbled cart, forced them to drop, and then you counter hit, that would have been a very, very nice play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But it's not bad. Oh. Did you run out of ammo there?
Yes, I think.
6. Why don't you charge the right click? You know, she probably blocks it, but go for it.
Yeah.
Go for the secondary fire. Because if that lands, she's dead, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously, I don't need to explain, but just for the sake of the fact that I'm recording this, even if you have that 6 ammo, you can full charge it, you know? Even if you have that 1 ammo, you can still charge it to maximum, you know? Like, you can still let it off and it can still charge as long as you have that ammo in the bank to start it in the first place. Nice. And this nano engage is going to be so strong in next update. I'm so excited. Wonderful. Would you say Monkey is one of your better characters? Primal mechanics are good as well.
It's starting to become one of my better characters.
Yeah. Good character to have as one of your better ones. For sure. I'm gonna go 3rd person view right now. mean, there's nothing else you can really be doing here. But how does that play out? How does that play out? Right. In the mid fight, how do you set up your Ana? Do you set up your Ana just on the bridge here?
Normally.
So what I think our intention should be is to try and help your backline set up. Right now, your backline are doing really well, and the fact that they've gone as far as they can go without these people getting forced out. So what you could potentially be doing earlier, playing up here for now is fine. A widow sacrifices space. We're in a gunfight, but we use bubble. Okay, yeah. Very small micro positioning, but you're more so edging to this side of ship. When really, if you peek this side of ship, you actually have the sustain. Which means that your bubble doesn't need to get forced. Worst comes to worst, you drop here. Clear here, force them to move out, and then maybe potentially D.Va goes on your backline, then we just play to trade backlines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So right now, the main thing that you're doing wrong is just not playing that side of ship. Always think about your Ana LOS and sustain and stuff like that. That's the wrong Ana. I mean, to be fair, oh, I thought the LOS would actually be way worse. Wait, what? Okay. I'm tweaking. I'm actually big tweaking.
I see you.
Let me see from the Ana's perspective. So it's not at all an LOS thing then. To an extent it is. Did you notice that slight frame where when you're on that side of ship, then the LOS is cut? But it's only because you started to edge to right side. Yeah, okay. So ignore that for a second time. It is an LOS problem. Your Ana has to stand really close to doorway to land. This is fine. Bubble wouldn't have gotten forced that easily. And so they timed their hit at the same time as when you need to back out. So it was really unfortunate. It's very unlikely that they coordinated that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
No one can hide from my sight. وريهم قوتك.
I don't understand why you engaged the nano boosted D.Va.
I think I was just going point, to be honest.
So she flies on high. She gets booped down straight away. You just ruined an entire power position, I think. Like, D.Va used boosters. I have a document. I'll send you the document as well. It's super top secret. But it's about playing into D.Vas, and it covers what I was talking about before. But this D.Va using boosters and getting knocked back down means 4 seconds of downtime. 4 seconds of downtime, which means you can hit. You just use jump, which means that you have 4 seconds of downtime as well. But obviously the D.Va character concept is super important. Downtime is really important when you're playing into D.Va, because her toolkit is to protect the area around her. So even if there's 4 seconds of downtime on both of you, if you was to land here, not drop, set up for your next hit, you can pretty much force an engagement on their backline. And what does that do? The second D.Va has uptime, she's in a situation where she either has to fly on your backline or fly to protect their backline. That's all you have to do against D.Va, right? Because D.Va has to do everything in Overwatch. She has to play for poke, she has to play for brawl, she has to play to dive, right? She has to play to bunker, she has to play to she has to play to bunker, she has to play to, what am I even saying? There was another one. But basically, I'm saying that D.Va has a whole bunch of jobs. And all you need to do is give her a choice between 2, 3 of those jobs, and then play to the separate win condition that she chooses. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, she could either play to dive, or she could play to peel and bunker, which is basically a brawl, right? So if she plays to peel, bunker, what do? You just drop and allow your team to poke, take angles, take positions. Whereas if she chooses to dive, we can not only counter hit with your monkey engage, which is what you planned on doing in the first place, but what does that leave behind? Speaking about my previous theory, it leaves behind an entire payload that our tracer can just force. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the reason why I tell you a whole bunch of macro stuff is because I know you can call these things if you pick up on it, and your team will listen to you, right? So if you pick up on where the D.Va goes after you go somewhere, honestly, you can give the informational calls. We can force payload, you know. D.Va's left payload, we can force payload. Trade backlines, you know. Can we pulse brig, you know what I mean? Call for these things.
Yeah.
Nah, your monkey is very good. Just mechanically, it's weird because you could probably monkey in a PC lobby pretty reliably. Your primal mechanics are good enough. Your mechanics in general are good enough. Another situation. Based on where the D.Va is and where you are, you're doing completely fine, by the way.
Yeah.
Completely fine. The win condition or what you guys play into, it doesn't always have to be something to do with you. You're forcing cart, you're playing corners. So what's happening here is we're having a brawl fight. Both comps right now are a brawl comp. So once again, we pick up on this. Brig should really be holding corner with you and stacking, because it's not like their backline is going to get hit. This is one thing that I will say, playing into the D.Va as well. They're not going to hard dive you. If they hard dive you, if they go first, like I said, they're throwing. Which means that our Ana can be pretty creative. All she has to worry about is Widow LOS, Sojourn LOS. And obviously the Tracer dives. The Tracer dives would make more sense with the Brig stacked. But now we don't have to worry about that. Brig and Ana can play as close to you as they want if the enemy team has a D.Va comp. Because no matter how far away they are, if the D.Va wants to eat your heals, she'll eat the heals, you know? But at least if Brig is stacked on corner, she can swing, she can swing, she can swing. And actually, you have more brawl. Or you have more brawl as long as this Brig keeps staying in Narnia, you know? You're playing for a brawl win condition with the possibility, the potential to hit backline. So that leaves you in a very strong position. You notice that we're taking a brawl, and in this situation, because we have the potential, we can call for our team to do other things around the map, because we actually don't want the D.Va to do anything else. If D.Va leaves corner, we just wrap round, and we're all of a sudden in LOS of the Widowmaker, who could just back up to hit, which overall is a worse position. So what we want to do is distract the D.Va, keep making her hold space, make her feel like she's doing stuff, whilst you just send your Tracer on a little side quest, pressure the Widow out. You know what I mean? Widow might use grapple, and that's when you can potentially leave corner, go on Widow, stabilize around the corner, you know what I mean? You're gonna force D.Va to back, force D.Va to go on you, It would just open up a lot of different potential scenarios. I love playing into D.Va. I really love coaching into D.Va so much.
I think that the trace thing you were saying is what we do now, because I think I'm just trying to ping the Widow now, and he's going right.
Yeah, and so you're forcing corner. This is really good. You can already see D.Va's attention splitting. Let me even go from D.Va's POV right now. You're 2 up. D.Va flies up and she bombs. She tries to create space. You get another trade and nobody dies. So now they're an ult down. You might even get the D-Mac. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. Well played though. You guys did really well there. Yeah, fine. Oh, this true damage monkey is gonna be so good. Unlucky, unlucky. But damn, the mechanics are good. The mechanics are really good. That second jump was inty though. You got a bit carried away there.
Yeah, I was hoping the Sojourn would have walked out a bit more. Either Sojourn or Rana.
So if you jump here, and you have the intention of jumping back in, we don't use bubble. If you jump back here and bubble, you just stay on cart and force that cart. Because if you want the Sojourn to come out, what do? Kill the D.Va and force the touch. Force the touch. Be smart. Monkey comp is literally about jumping into space, changing the space, changing the domain, even if that means forcing cart to force touches, to drag someone out, and then hit them, or better yet, hit the person coming out the doorway after them, whilst they're in the middle, and your Brig can just walk on them. Do you see what I'm saying? There's so many possibilities with this comp. Monkey comp is so strong. Oh man. God, I love Monkey. I was in Sigma prison for 2 months. I hate it. It's wonderful.
For that fight, in my head, I was like, we've killed 3, Sojourn's at door, D.Va's on point. I bubble to help the team, and then I'll go distract the Sojourn. I think that's what I was thinking at the time, at least.
Yeah. The thing is, it's a win con. You played
to get like a random hit or something.
It worked. It definitely did work. But I always like to come from the stance of like optimization, what would actually work against like really good teams, what would work against like the top PC teams, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, that's what you want to work towards, especially because PC and console, there's loads of PC and console tournaments. And you see a lot of the console boys taking maps off of PC teams. You see a lot of console boys taking entire sets out off of like PC teams, you know what I mean? Like the console community can genuinely
the console team.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot that I would say could take a few maps off PC teams. Well, the higher end at least.
Yeah, no, for sure. But you have people like Hopeful that are literally in the best PC teams now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Hopeful has rolled me multiple times.
Yeah, he's on red. Is it Red Team? I think that's his team's name. That's got Jacko in it. Jackie Boy 1 in it. At the moment, so.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's the flex support player unless Bamboo's left. If you know him.
Nah, I don't know Bamboo. I obviously know Jackie Boy, yeah, but that's interesting.
The only reason I thought you would know Bamboo is because he went to PC a year-ish ago, so I don't know if he did anything with it.
Okay, fair. Now this is gonna be interesting because it's the monkey mirror. The monkey mirror. I'm actually just gonna look at our macro structure, the space that you hold to choose to hold. First and foremost, you don't need to be stacked on backline like this right now. If you were standing here, Lucio wouldn't be able to stand here. It's not the end of the world. Like it's not. Wait, no way. That's a frog. Am I stupid? Am I stupid?
No.
I didn't know the backpack was a frog.
I think that's only recently with his Overwatch 2 skin.
Yeah, but Overwatch 2 has been out for a year. That's insane.
Yeah, but you're not really looking at the skins like,
Yeah,
like that.
in
like,
my
full
defense,
instance.
I am the one playing Lucio and I don't have emotes bound, so.
Yeah, looks the same.
But nah, it's actually embarrassing the amount of things that I figure out, like, way later than I should. Like, Colosseo, you know the little megas by Colosseo? I didn't realize that there was, like, a ledge and a window that leads to outside on Colosseo in those little mega rooms.
Oh, what near the checkpoint?
Yeah. Like, I realized this, like, 3 days ago, and my other coach, she got me, they were just like, Copy, are you stupid? Like, that's literally where...
It's probably like a common spot to go to be fair.
No, it's true. Apparently, that's what a lot of the high-level Tracer players look to recall. So they'll set up there, wait, go in for 3 seconds, and then recall so they're set up back there, if that makes sense, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I found out I didn't know they were on Sombra at this point.
Ooh. Your engagement or your disengagement was perfectly timed. You know if the monkey jumps on you and you're one, they automatically gonna try and bubble off hills, so you need to actually get up instead of sticking for as long as possible. You timed it really well. We probably get Kiri Mercy Farah. Oh, that is so cringe. This
This team was so weird. I didn't know what was going on for half the scrim, and then this just randomly pulled out.
I mean, it's hard to get value here. It really is. I don't know why we're on May as well.
We thought they were gonna come out on Diva, so we were like, yeah, May poke it.
Oh, I thought the May was a swap. Okay, that's fine. So right now, are you thinking about sticking?
I'm personally thinking about sticking, yeah.
So who are you gonna try and pressure? I think what value that you could get, scouting Sombra, pressuring the Mercy. If you just perma right click Mercy, like she actually can't do anything, you know? You can force out Farah by forcing out the Mercy, and obviously the monkey is a hit scanner as well, right? So hitting the shots themselves shouldn't actually be too difficult. You hit the monkey, that's huge. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. You could always go on the Mercy, expecting the Mercy or Kiri to go out. And this is where the synergy between the Tracer and the monkey comes into play, because you want your Tracer always following up on this when they can. Obviously, Tracer's job is still something that I'm trying to work out as a coach. Obviously, I know what her job is to do, but just transitioning from car to mirroring Tracer to controlling lanes to diving to cleaning up, like she has to do 5 different things, you know what I mean? And so the timings and getting stuff perfect, that's what I'm personally working on at the moment, because it's very, very complex, and it's always like play by play specific, which doesn't help. But nice, you can pretty consistently get the Mercy dead. You don't even need a hard hit scan in this situation. Oh my lord. So the Ayari change, you have 2 flexible players, right? Is that
who's on at the moment?
Oh, this is Cutaway.
Is it Koei and Chocha?
Chocha, yeah.
Yeah, 2 flex support.
Okay, cool. So the Yariana is going to be very nice here as well. I think that's a very nice swap.
I can't lie, when that happened, I just said, I'm not dying.
I think they forced it out of you a bit easy though.
Yeah, but I don't think I personally had to use it, to be honest.
Yeah. You definitely didn't need to use it. Like, but the thing is, what could be valuable? I mean, you might need a primal store. I mean, you could easily just primal the you know, jumping at the barrage with primal. You know, but at the same time, you can jump at the barrage with barrier as well, like the bubble. So you could do that. If the barrage is big, primal stall is also very, very good. Also, disrupting a kitsune, you'll get burnt fast, but you could definitely mess up the kitsune rush initially, at least with the primal. I think that's how you kind of have to play into it. I think you're lucky considering none of these plays are like good, so to speak.
Yeah, no, this wasn't the best. It's just like we utterly rolled this team on rush, but
Yeah.
like then my team's dive isn't the best. So
When you're playing rush, do you run Ryan or Ram?
no stick.
Oh, the six. Okay, cool. Because I will say that was another person I was gonna say Ram is gonna be very good.
Yeah.
I think Ram is gonna be better than Reinhardt for like the first time objectively, if that makes sense. I like this place. I like this place a lot. Did we need to commit the bubble? Do you think
I
Monkey would
didn't
have
try and
died?
go up hills. Besides the mercy hills.
Yeah. Where's the Anna set up anyway? Oh no, it's Kiri.
Because I didn't know where the Kiri was. I didn't know if she could Suzu or just normally heal.
Okay, good bubble. You're thinking about the matchup. I just presume that's an Anna when I see the plays, but yeah, no. Good bubble.
Yeah, I literally forgot what they were playing.
Okay, didn't mark the res, that's fine. They're attention trading well, they're making it very chaotic. It's funny because they were making you kind of decide between like a whole bunch of stuff that was going on as well.
Let's give it to him.
Okay, no. Okay, for some reason I thought I didn't realize how symmetrical this map is actually. Wow. For some reason I thought they flipped the map and I was like, wait, no, that's the main choke that the payload is coming through. I was like, what? This map is actually mad symmetrical other than the boxes there and obviously that side there. Oh, that's funny. I didn't actually. Anyways. Nice, just a little bit of post pre-fight for ult charge. The monkey actually almost dies, which is funny. Holding space, potentially stuffing. You could easily drop on them here. Again, I think this goes down to the same thing that I said with the Sigma stuff. I think if you know that they're rotating here, why don't you just stuff them? As in, early monkey jump here and literally just stuff them by the door. Force them to push through you. Your tracer is taking an angle here and that's already a pincer. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, low key. Right, the reason why I say that is obviously if you jump here and your tracer's up here, it's less of a pincer and more playing corners because you're all on the same side. But the fact that your tracer's here also means that if you were to set up a pincer, let's say your Ana lands nade on backline and your tracer's maybe, let's say, up here, very easy for your tracer to just drop and create that pincer and actually just clean up from here. Especially if they use Suzu, because we have the pulse, you know?
Yeah.
If you can encourage your teammates to call how they want to use their ults and how they want to make plays and what resources they need, it would be very beneficial. Like having players play a game and actually know their own roles and what they want to do. So in this situation, I have Pulse on Tracer. That's our only ult that we really want to engage with, or we need to engage with, let's say, without being at like a complete 50-50. So if I'm Terminator here, I would just be like, okay, I'm setting up for a Pulse. Can we try and land a nade and bait Suzu, you know? Just as something as simple as that. So try and get your team actually making calls like that, because it's very helpful. You don't actually need one main shot caller, because that's such a snooze. People should know how to play the characters at the level at which you're playing, you know?
Yeah.
And your Ana's dead, but that's completely fine because what we did was trade backlands. So now we're getting healed up. Getting healed up, not ideal considering that our Ana needs ult charge and our Yari doesn't. But I would rather you be set up than not set up. He actually did take poke. And this is a situation where we have Primal. I would love if your Ana was to get back and heal in time, but also I would rather you keep position. So actually I think you're playing perfectly here. I think you're playing perfectly. And what a kill. I really like that. You had option to Primal, so it was very nice. All of this very nice. My team definitely does meme our main tank whenever our main tank jumps on a Tracer, though, I'm not gonna lie. Like, here, she's won. That's fine. She recalled, track recall. I think the fact that your bubble is getting forced out here, again, really, really small macro. Just try not to use it. Just try not to use these things. And I know we have Primal, but the second she blinked up here, why? Like, why have we actually done that? Wouldn't you rather...
I think I tried to somewhat chase her, but then also try and get into my Ana/Briggs LOS. So I didn't fully know where they were at the time, to be honest.
Okay, cool. Okay, give you the benefit of the doubt. Always option to force TP/Suzu, but if you don't know where people are, fair enough. And now you've noticed TP down, you go on a TP, so you're reacting to triggers really well. I don't think your team is that bad when it comes to like diving. The macro is a bit off, but like you guys are playing it well in terms of the individual value that you guys are getting, and this is where you can scout potentially. Well played. Now your game sense is good. Your game sense very good.
So nearly, I nearly got the Sombra out of Invis there as well.
I'll be the judge of that.
I still hate it that now, where when Sombra's Invis, you just can't see her from other people's view. Where in the spectator system.
Yeah. No way. Bob engagement. That's a really bad 5-plan bot. Yeah. She even bunny hopped. Okay. It's very, very consistent. I'm gonna write a summary because that's the end of the game, but nah. In terms of what you need to do, primarily just learning the different matchups, so playing into Monkey versus playing into Diva, and identifying the different phases of the enemy tank, the enemy mirror. identifying the abilities that the enemy team are using defensively, whether it's coast gun first and whether it's whip shot first, and reacting around that. Understanding that, okay, I want to hit this one target, but they're not fully dragged out of position. So playing to drag people into space, you know? Dragging people into space by playing into other areas of space. So those three things are the main giveaways. Your mechanics are very good. A bit more composure on the bubbles. And obviously the macro things that I told you about. So setting up the tracer, getting your teammates to call plays, and understanding when you need to call for teammates in certain phases. We're taking corner with a diva. Why isn't my brig literally in front of me swinging, you know? But other than that, very, very consistent gameplay. I'm really pleased with that, actually.